Yashodanandan Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. It's here. Here it's weak. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. I can't see it. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Oh, it's not fitting. There's a problem. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Yamuna Tira Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad Bhai Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrinda Devi Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Mathura Dham Ki Maya Purnavali Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Grautta Puri Dham Ki Ayodhya Puri Dham Ki Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Mandir Ki Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur Samaveta Bhaktavrinda Ki Samaveta Bhaktavrinda Ki Samaveta Bhaktavrinda Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam 7:12. I'm not sure which one. Who was here yesterday? Huh? 9. 7:12, 9. Okay, there's a purport. There was a purport for 8. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatityuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, Skanda 7, Adhyaya 12, Shloka 9. Right? Nanvagnif Pramadhanama Grita Kumbhas Samaf Prabhuman Sutama Piraho Jahiyad Anyada Yavadartha Krit Nanvagnif Pramadhanama Grita Kumbhas Samaf Puman Sutama Piraho Jahiyad Anyada Yavadartha Krit. Who has a device? Who wants to read? Nanvagnif Pramadhanama Grita Kumbhas Samaf Puman Sutama Piraho Jahiyad Anyada Yavadartha Krit Nanvagnif Pramadhanama Grita Kumbhas Samaf Puman Sutama Piraho Jahiyad Anyada Yavadartha Krit Nanvagnif Pramadhanama Grita Kumbhas Samaf Puman Sutama Piraho Jahiyad Anyada Yavadartha Krit Padapataha Nanu. Certainly Agnihi, the fire, Pramada, the woman, one who bewilders the mind of man. Nama, the very name. Grita Kumbha, a pot of butter. Samaha, like. Puman, man, a man. Sutamapi, even one's daughter. Rahaha, in a secluded place. Jahiyad, one must not associate with. Anyada, with other women also. Yavat, as much as. Arthakrit, required. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Woman is compared to fire and a man is compared to a butter pot. Therefore, a man should avoid associating even with his own daughter in a secluded place. Similarly, he should avoid association with other women. One should associate with women only for important business and not otherwise. Purport. If a butter pot and fire are kept together, the butter within the pot will certainly melt. Woman is compared to fire and man is compared to a butter pot. However advanced one may be in restraining the senses, it is almost impossible for a man to keep himself controlled in the presence of a woman, even if she is his own daughter, mother, or sister. Daughter, mother, or sister, Prabhupada comments. Indeed, his mind is agitated even if one is in the renounced order of life. Therefore, Vedic civilization carefully restricts mingling between men and women. If one cannot understand the basic principle of restraining association between man and woman, he is to be considered an animal. That is the purport of this verse. And that doesn't show a lot of ISKCON devotees, including me, in a good light. Hare Krishna. Because men and women should not associate with each other. Especially sannyasis. They should not sit in a room with women all day for 10 days, twice a year. Who's doing that? Oops, I'm talking to the camera. Oh, and one here too. You know, in Vedic times, Prabhupada has mentioned the name Parda. Parda means curtain. Actually, it's an Urdu word, right? It's not a Sanskrit word. What is the Sanskrit word? Yavani. Yavanika. Curtain. And in the villages in India, the women would never come out in the public. Or in the Bhagavatam, in the 10th canto, it's described that when Lord Krishna came from Hastinapur to Dwarka, the cultured women, that means the higher caste women, were on the top of the palace. So they did not mingle with the general mass of people. What can I say? Modern civilization is fallen. Modern civilization, the free mixing of men and women. Prabhupada commented on this many times. So the excuse is, well, in India things are not perfect. India is fallen now. So why should anybody follow Vedic culture? You're not following, so why should we follow? There's a bundle of excuses. And they're right. India has fallen down, especially in the big cities. In the villages, boy, even in the villages, they're falling down. There used to be a time people knew what their occupations were. I went to Rajasthan in 1977, and I couldn't see the face of a woman. Yeah, it was like that. Gujarat was like that. Saurashtra. Many devotees who went in the 1970s in the villages in Saurashtra, you couldn't see the face of a woman. They would cover their faces. Now in South India, that wasn't practiced. Prabhupada told us in Nellore, right, that Vedic culture is more intact in South India. So how is that? How is that? Hard to understand sometimes. Even in the Vrindavan, that whole area, Braj, the women cover their faces. And there are many other, Uttar Pradesh, Hindus, Muslims, of course, they have that strict parda. The women should not show their face. But some ISKCON devotees, they don't think that this is applicable now. I won't say who they are, right? Before I said in my earlier lectures, I pointed a finger. Today I won't point a finger. But I'll just read what Prabhupada wrote in the last sentence of the purport. If one cannot understand the basic principle of restraining association between men and women, he can also mean plural, they, right? In English. He is one, they has to be considered an animal. He or they, that is the purport of this verse. So what to speak of a householder? A sannyasi is not supposed to go near women. And if the sannyasi is sitting in the same place all day for 10 days, you know who I'm talking about, right? Some of you know. Sannyasis. What kind of sannyasis are they? Hare Krishna. They shouldn't. But who's saying they shouldn't? Prabhupada. Who's Prabhupada? Flowers, kirtan. But what about the instructions of Prabhupada? Sannyasis should not associate. Even a householder is not supposed to associate. There are so many, right, illicit affairs because they associate with someone else's wife. It's in Mayapur. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. Recently in Pune, right? Actually, everyone was, pretending to be blind because one of the leading brahmacharis was having a romantic affair, even if he didn't have illicit sex. We don't know. We don't care. Doesn't matter. But carrying on with someone else's wife and then marrying her after years and years. And the people became shocked. The congregation became shocked. And this news has not spread because, it's not pleasant. It's not nice. It's not nice. The whole society has fallen down. It's a fact. Whole society. What is it in the US? 50% divorce. They get married, and if they get married, they don't even get married now. But if they marry, half of the people divorce. That in the Vedic culture, it did not happen. In the Vedic culture, the husband and the wife never knew each other. Now there's romance, right? Actually, it is animal life. The cows and bulls, when they mix, the bull doesn't count how many cows he impregnated, right? His job is to impregnate the cows. Yeah. That's in the, what is that story? Upamanyu? Upamanyu came to Gautama. Who was it? Gautama. I want to study Vedas. Huh? The sage, the guru. Iotomia? Upamanyu. So he said, take care of the cows. He didn't teach him Vedas. And from 1,000 cows, it went to 4,000 cows. That's the job of cows and bulls. Breeding. Get a lot of milk. Vedic culture, that's just like this instruction about Vedic culture. That men and women shouldn't associate, otherwise there'll be illicit sex. and one man dumped his wife, tell her to get lost and marry someone else's wife. You know the story from Mayapur. In the West, that's everyday story, right? Every day. So like that, the importance of milk in Vedic culture. There are certain concepts, Panchagavya, the 5 products of a cow, are all considered purifying and medicinal, antiseptic. Everyone would live in a simple home with a dirt floor. There were no stone flooring in the villages. The floor was dirt. And on top of that dirt, they would spread the Gomaya. Gomaya, you heard the word Gomaya? You heard that? No. You heard Gomaya? No. What is Gomaya? Cow urine? No. Cow dung. Gobar. Gobar is Hindi. Gomaya, Sanskrit. Some of you learned a new word today. Gomaya. Gomaya lepanam. By spreading the cow dung on the dirt floor, it purifies, it drives away the insects. That was how people were living. That was the ideal village life. Not only spreading on the floor of the residence, whatever type of residence. The residents were not like today. They were mostly kutiras, little houses. And then cooking was also with the Gomaya. Cooking with the wood and cow dung. So there's a Vedic system, right? Now in the West, because of this lockdown, there's a shortage of toilet paper. Toilet paper. In Vedic culture, there's no toilet paper. Why should you waste the trees and have a big industry to manufacture paper for mulatag? You heard this word, mulatag? Never heard it, right? You heard mulatag? No. Tag you've heard, right? Tyaga. What is tyaga? Renounce. Giving up. And what is mala? That's mala. 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 Yeah, like mud. Dirt. Refuse. When the body takes in food, it evacuates mala, refuse, malatag, evacuation. Prabhupada called it in English. Evacuation is a gentlemanly way of saying passing stool. Malatag. In Hindi, what do you say? Malatag. That's the gentlemanly Sanskrit way. There's other lower class words in Hindi. We won't mention those words. So there's a Vedic way. The Vedic way is after malatag, you wash yourself with water. You wash with the left hand, not with the right hand. These things are taught from the childhood, but mlechas and yavanas, I'm also one of them. We were not taught. We were not taught this. We had toilet paper. I told you the story, right? When I joined the temple in 1973, February, it's very cold, but we had heated, there was warm water, and there was toilet paper in the toilet. You know, one day the toilet paper ran out. So I went to the temple commander and I said, Prabhu, we need more toilet paper. That's how we grew up, with toilet paper. And he said, there's a Vedic way to do everything. He taught me. I didn't know. I was ignorant. I didn't know that we don't use toilet paper. It's a crisis in the West. No toilet paper. They all went and purchased. You're not going to be able to get toilet paper. And the Indian government has made Toilet Day. And the propaganda is there. Don't marry your daughter in a house where there's no toilet. Propaganda. Why? Funny, huh? You heard about that? You never heard about that? To encourage villagers to install a toilet in their house. Because there were no toilets. People used to go outside of the village for defecation, malatag. And the women and the men would go to separate places, not the same place. It's in the Vishnu Purana. Go outside of the village, 200 yards or something like that, for defecation. Once a day. Prabhupada said, you go once a day, you're a yogi. If you have to go twice a day, you heard this, right? You're a bogey, enjoyer. And more than twice, rogi. Roga is disease. Rog. Arogyam, freedom from disease. What do they have? An app now? Arogya Setu. Arogya Setu, the bridge to freedom from disease. The government of India made an app for your telephone. Please download that app. I didn't download it, don't worry. Arogya Setu, the bridge to freedom from disease. So every house should have a toilet. And there's lots of propaganda going on. You don't know. Yeah. They made a movie. Really? They made a movie about toilet paper? I knew they made a movie about a woman's, sanitary pads. That I know. And toilet paper also. The toilet paper or the sanitary pad? Toilet movie. What's the name of that? Toilet egg? Prem Katha. Oh my God. Really? How is it I missed that one? I missed that. Prem Katha means love story. Ek is one. Toilet, one love story. We love our toilet. It's unhygienic to have a toilet in your house or a toilet in your room. We're doing it. I'm living like that. It's unhygienic to cook next to the toilet. They want the toilet should be inside, not outside. Later on that happened, that when they started with the toilets, they kept it outside the house, and inside there was no toilet. Now it must be inside. Must be inside. Otherwise nobody will buy the house. Next to the kitchen, yeah. Some devotee in Baltimore, in America, invited me for lunch, and it was an excellent lunch. He's a Brahmin from Jagannath Puri. He has 50 shaligrams next to the toilet. Next to the toilet. What to do? America is like that. Every house has several toilets. That's, bathrooms. They don't say toilet, they say bathroom. And women in America, when they go to the bathroom, they don't say, I have to use the toilet. What do they say? You know what they say? You were in America. No. They don't say it anymore. This is an old one. I have to powder my nose. You never heard this? It's in the old, yeah. They had little kit to fix their makeup. And so to put a little powder on the makeup, they would say, I have to powder my nose. Same thing? Yeah. Similar thing. Yeah. Right. It's called a toilet. They don't want to go in the... Yeah, in the house, they won't say toilet also. They have different names, right? When I was growing up, they would say my grandparents would say the John. My grandfather was raised in England, right? So he had that from England, the John. Powder the nose has another meaning. We'll talk about that later, yeah. Anyway, this discussion is a love story of a toilet. Yeah. Why should you love a toilet? So it's not Vedic culture. So the separation of the sexes, the separation of man, women never participated in the assembly. Draupadi was dragged into the assembly, right, by Dushasana. And she was in the menstrual cycle, monthly period. First of all, a woman would never come in the assembly of men. That we know from Mahabharata. And she was insulted because she was dragged by the hair. And then Dushasana wanted to take off her clothes. And Bhishma and Drona were silent. But now, women should give lectures to men. What to speak of not even being in the room with men. Women want to give lectures to men. Where? In ISKCON. Oh, in ISKCON.
One lady, she invited me. Inshallah,
Please come to my room. Right? The women who are engaging like this, they're from Malecha and Yavana families. That's all you can say. They didn't have Vedic sanskaras as children. They weren't raised in the Vedic culture. And they're demanding equality. Prabhupada commented several times that there is no equality between men and women. But there is a resolution passed by a body that I'm not going to mention the name, that women should have equal opportunities for service in ISKCON. That's still a law, last 20 years. Equal opportunities for service means free mixing of men and women. That's what it means. That means women temple presidents. Prabhupada never made a woman a temple president. Not one. There's an exception to every rule. There's a saying in English. The rule is women should not be the temple presidents. That's a rule. So there may be some exception. Prabhupada never made an exception. And what to speak of above the temple presidents? Why is it going on? That maybe they didn't read this, or maybe they want to take it out. There's a movement, right? A movement within the movement to add annotations and footnotes. Just like I mentioned in Mayapur, there was a class by a man, and he said the wife doesn't have to serve the husband, she has to serve Krishna. And after Prabhupada, between 78 and 86, there were very powerful gurus in ISKCON. You heard about that period. And some of them told their female disciples the same thing. Forget your husband. Just worship me. Right? I'm the spiritual master. But spiritual master, guru, is someone who's teaching Vedic culture. That means he has to abide by this. If he doesn't abide by what Prabhupada taught in his purports, I won't say that he's not a guru, because, who am I? Who am I? But I can say one thing, he's not following Prabhupada. Yeah, he's not following Prabhupada. If the guru doesn't want to separate the men from the women, why Prabhupada uses the word Vedic civilization? Again and again and again. Vedic civilization. Okay, Vedic, what does it mean? Vedas. Vedas has Varnashram Dharma. And part of the Varnashram is the street Dharma. And the street Dharma means they have their own occupations away from the men. Whatever it is. Prabhupada said it was taking care of children, taking care of cows, cooking, cleaning the house. Actually, there was no stitching and sewing. Of course, Vedic culture wasn't in Russia. It was too cold for Vedic culture. You can't live with this clothing over it, right? You can't live with this type of cotton clothing in maybe, 2-3 months a year? 4 months, maybe, maximum 4 months. I was in Perm, Russia, 20 years ago in September, and the water was freezing on the ground in the morning. Freezing. September, end of September. So yeah, there's maybe stitched clothing, yeah. But you have a coat for 20 below, for 50 below. You know about that? You heard about that? So cold. You grew up there. We had 0. We had sometimes below 0, but we never had 20 below and 50 below. 70 below 0. Terrible. How can we adopt Vedic culture or imbibe and spread Vedic? We're supposed to be a preaching mission, spreading Vedic civilization, and we don't want to follow. We make rules that contradict the teachings that we find here in Prabhupada's books. Women should have equal opportunities for service. What does it mean? What does it mean? Or means that they should freely mix with the men. Nothing wrong. That's what they want. But Vedic culture says no. They should be separate. So people say it's unfair. What is the word? Apartheid. Apartheid. Keep them apart. Yeah? That's what this is. This is apartheid. Men and women kept separate. Vedic concept. It's a Vedic concept. Then there's householders, and the householders have to associate with women. Brahmacharis and sannyasis, they're not supposed to talk intimately with women. So we know the story. Bhakti Siddhanta, one of his disciples, Prabhupada, was there. She said, Guruji, I want to talk to you privately. So Bhakti Siddhanta said, no, I cannot talk to you privately. I'm a sannyasi. He spoke to her. A sannyasi might speak to a woman for a few moments. And that should be in public. And that should be philosophical. But if it becomes intimate, right? If a woman is traveling with a sannyasi, if a woman is living in the same compound with a sannyasi for 15 years, the same woman, it's not good. Maybe they don't have illicit sex. Maybe. You know, who can say? Because there were other men there. But the emotional attachment for a sannyasi to a woman, it's against the principles of sannyas dharma. Yeah. It's against the principles. Someone may say, last time we remembered there's some prostitutes in Bhagavatam, right? Pingala and Kubja, and the prostitutes of Dwarka. So does that mean that sannyasis can associate with women? Because there were prostitutes in Bhagavatam? It would be a funny logic. Then, for preaching, a sannyasi, Prabhupada preached, he made women disciples, he gave them initiation. And he instructed them, not like Ramananda Rai, not like Ramananda Rai. You know the story? Who knows the story of Ramananda Rai? Don't know? You don't know them? What did Ramananda Rai do? Gave massage to? Young women. There's one word you forgot. Naked women. Naked women. And it says there that he didn't feel any sexual attraction. In the purport here, Prabhupada says that indeed, however advanced one may be in restraining the senses, it is almost impossible for a man to keep himself controlled in the presence of a woman, even if she is his own daughter, mother, or sister. What to speak of Ramananda Rai? They weren't his daughters or sisters, by the way. But he didn't rape them, right? He's glorified as one of the greatest devotees. He's glorified. So that's an exceptional case. Very exceptional case. It doesn't mean because Ramananda Rai massaged naked women, now let's go out and find a naked woman and have some fun. Then that's a fall down. It's a fall down. Sinful. If someone has an illicit affair with another woman, therefore he should have a wife. Prabhupada has written that so many places. If you have a wife, be satisfied with your one wife. And if you're a very rich man, you may have more than one wife. But it's not allowed now, it's illegal. It was, according to Hindu culture, Vedic civilization. We know Chitraketu, Dasharath, Lord Krishna, Pandavas, Bhim. Bhima's one wife was a Rakshasi, right? How is that possible? Yeah, how is it possible? And they're glorified. They're glorified. So, Vedic civilization is such a thing. Don't engage in sinful activities. Don't associate with other women. That's how you protect yourself. Or do so at your own peril. In the name of preaching, you should not get intimate with someone else's wife. It leads to a fall down, and now that devotee was very well known. And now, this is mentioned in Gita, right? What's that verse? For one who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death. What is it? Excuse me. Huh? I'll look it up. I don't know why I'm forgetting this. Avachya vadangsha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha. They will say many bad things about you. Avachya, that which should not be spoken. Vachana, words. Avachya, should not be spoken. Avachya vadangsh, vada, speech. Avachya vadangscha bahun, many bad words will be used for someone who loses his fame by doing some nonsense. Vadishyanti tabahitaha. They will speak to you in derogatory words. Nindantas tavasamartyam. They will offend you. Tato dukataram nukim. What could be more painful than that? If somebody, and then what is it? Akirtir chapi bhutani. That's the one before this. Two before it. Akirtir chapi bhutani katayishyanti te vyayam. For one who has been very well known, sambhavitasya cha kirtir maranad atirichyate. What's the word in English? Akirtihi, apman. For one who loses that fame. It's worse than death to be stained by some scandal or some bad behavior. It's worse than dying for one who has been honored, dishonored. That's it, dishonor. So illicit connection with women brings dishonor and spiritual ruin. And okay, either you abstain, be a brahmachari and a sannyasi. Totally keep away as far as possible from women. Or become a householder. Otherwise, Hare Krishna, then it's not Vedic civilization. So the Manu Smriti, Manu Samhita, mentions different type of punishment and atonement for that type of bad behavior. So someone can be reformed, just like there was a famous sannyasi in ISKCON, and he expired now, he's no more. And he was big leader, and he came crying to Prabhupada. He said, I cannot follow sannyas anymore. Yes, I have had enjoyed many women. So Prabhupada told him, be a grihastha and stay in ISKCON. He didn't kick him out. You rascal, get out of here. He could have said that. He was a sannyasi. But after all, we're Malachas and Yavanas, and what do we know about Vedic culture? How much can you teach in a few years? Prabhupada only had 12 years and so many disciples. He tried, he wrote it, it's here. Instruction is clear. Somebody can't follow. Prabhupada was merciful. Prabhupada was merciful. Okay, be a grihastha. Don't be an animal. That's what it says here. Prabhupada doesn't say, in this particular purport, he's talking about those who can't understand even the concept that women should not mix with men freely. What to speak of a sannyasi who had affairs with so many women. But Prabhupada was merciful. He knew Western society is a very fallen society. Tamasic, in the mode of ignorance. What is that verse again? 16:7. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha. We had that today, right? I mean, it's in Gita at least in 2 places. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha. What to do and what not to do. How to behave, acharan. What is sadachar, we say. Sat means eternal. Sat, besides eternal, it also means correct, proper. Paparahitam. There's an expression in Sanskrit, free of any sin. We're not perfect, but we should. There's very sinful behavior. There's sinful and very sinful. So we should avoid that as far as possible. What is the fruit of sinful behavior that's described in Gita? You'll, right? Adhoga chanti tamasaha. Those who are in the mode of ignorance, they go down. They're born as a banana tree or whatever it is. Mudha yoni. Mudha yoni shujayate. Mudha, foolish, yoni, womb, jayate, born. If you're born a tree or a, what are we cultivating here? Champaks, flowers. They're alive, huh? They're producing. So many flowers are producing. For our standpoint, for offering to Krishna, it's nice. But there's a soul there, a jiva, who has to, in the heat, in the rain, somebody breaks it, throws a coconut on it, or whatever it is. Tarorapi sahishnuna, sahishnuta. Trinadapi Trinadapi sunichena, Tarorapi sahishnuna, sahanam, tolerance. They tolerate, they have no other goal. They can't move out of the way. They can't dodge the bullet, as the saying goes. Right? The bullet is coming and somebody dodges it. Lucky. Tree. Can't move. Jangama and Stavara. You heard these expressions? Jangama, moving. In India, everyone. Stavara, fixed. Adruvam, Achalam, cannot move. Stavaram, one place, fixed. No choice. But it's a mudha yoni. There's no brain substance. It's a life. It's a body for a soul. Ananta koti, unlimited tens of millions of jivas living in different bodies. And when you get a human body, then you can behave properly. You can behave properly. Try. Vedic concept of how to behave. And most of the people, they don't have the Vedic concept. Okay, Hare Krishna. Any question? No? Yeah.
Modern marriage of this one is not possible completely separate. I think the Buddhist relationship is complete separation.
Right. Like there are government officers who are women. The collector of Baroda is a woman. Yesterday I was watching the Hindi means news, and joint secretary in the ministry in the central government was a lady, and a young woman. But the hair was, she didn't tie up her hair also. And it was an interesting name, Srivastav, but God, I can't remember the name. So yeah, sometimes you have to deal with women, government officers, police women, women standing in the road with a police uniform, or moving around in a jeep. There's a woman's, anti-abuse cell, and yeah, the traffic police. You have to obey them. You mean in the shop? You go shopping and there's a woman there. That's true. Previously you wouldn't see. A saleswoman. What to do? You can do your best. You can try your best to avoid. But if you associate too much, a man becomes like a butter pot. Prabhupada says, Bhagavatam says. Or is it Prabhupada? Whatever. Yeah, modern civilization. Avaidiki Samaj. The society is not Vaidika, Avaidika. It is not Vedic, it is Avaidik, not following Vedic culture. Even here in Bharata. But people in the house, they have traditions. They follow that to some extent, to greater or lesser, right? If your home family was drinking alcohol, then you know they're not following. Or they're very low class. Okay. Bas, anything else? Thank you. Spasiba Bolshoye. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.